welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. As you can see, today's video is my Instagram followers picking up my makeup. I did this look. It was a little difficult because there were a few products that I didn't want to use. You guys picked that up, and the way I did my makeup was different. The steps were switched. I did my foundation after a few steps and all. So if you want to see how I get this look, honestly, even though I have a super full coverage and super thick base, I feel like my makeup is so subtle. Yeah, I mean, you can see I used a shit ton of makeup, but it's so subtle and it's so like wearable. If you want to see how I get this look, then keep on watching. So to start off, I'm gonna be doing my makeup differently today because there were a lot of products that I didn't want to use and I was hoping you guys would choose something else. But since I'm sorry, I'm sitting right in front of a window. Anyway, since there were a lot of products that I didn't want to use, but I had to use them anyway, I'm going to do my makeup a little differently today. And since I forgot to ask you guys about the primer, I'm just going to use my own. So without wasting more time, let's get into the video. Okay, so I did my skincare routine, but I'm not done. I still have a few more products to use. So I used my ordinary products. I used the Lancome Tonique Comfort Toner. I used, what else did I use? I used SPF. And now I need to move on to my primer. So first I'm going to use my MAC Prep and Prime. I'm going to use it near my nose because, well, I have pores. Also, can we appreciate the pimple on my bottom spot? Because I would never... Is there a shadow on my face? Is this better? I feel like there's a shadow here. I'm so sorry, I can't change that. The sun is in a very weird position, or probably I am. But yeah, like I was saying, I would never record if I had a freaking pimple on my bottom spot, but I'm leaving and going back to college and I won't be able to record there. And so I really wanted to record as many, but I don't think I can record any. I'm vlogging today, by the way, because I'm gonna meet Lahari and Rishika and we're gonna go out and all. So I thought of vlogging today. Let's move on. Why are babies crying? Anyway, so the next product that I'm gonna use is my Tarte Maracuja oil, however you pronounce it. Smashbox O Plump Lip Plumper. These are the products I didn't mention, but I wanted to show you what I'm using anyway. Alright. Now, finally, the primer. I'm using the Toofaced Hangover Primer. No. Now I look like a freaking glazed donut. Let's start with the makeup. So for foundation, I asked you guys between, let me mix it. Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation and the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, and you guys picked Luminous Silk Foundation. So I'd be using that. That would be my first step. But since the concealer is way too full coverage, I'm gonna do my concealer and contour first and then do my foundation. So let's start off with the concealer. So the choice between the concealer was the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Neutral, or the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. Now, if you've been watching me, you know how much I love the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer to do my under eyes and all. And I usually don't use Tarte Shape Tape Concealer because this is very full coverage and it's light, so I usually don't brighten my under eyes. I use this only as my eyeshadow primer, and I'm gonna look very weird now, so just ignore that. And also this look is gonna be super full coverage. Now let's move on to the next product, which is contour. And for contour, the choice between the products was my Fenty Beauty contour stick or my Fit Me concealer in the shade Cafe, and you guys chose the Fenty Beauty, which is again quite thick. So I forgot to add concealer under my cheekbones, so I'm gonna do that. I think I need to use a little more of this. I think it's just gonna get blended if not. I forgot my nose. That's what I was wondering. What did I miss out? Okay, I'm done. Now let's blend it out. I'm going to use a damp sponge. This is by Real Techniques. I'm going to start off with blending the concealer and then the contour. This is one thing I forgot about this concealer, man. It dries pretty quickly. And every time I use this, I work with it. This time I made it sit for so long. I hope it gets blended. Okay. Literally look like a cloud. Anyway. And we're done. This is the final look. No, I'm just kidding. This is not the final. Now, let's move on to my foundation. And I'm going to use the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Yeah, make sure you mix it. I don't know why I mixed it while I was talking, but whatever. 1 pump of it and, well, putting it all over my face. Done. Finally. Do you see how amazing that looks? It's so seamless. Next, I'm gonna move on to my eyes. It's gonna be a very simple look. I had to do this super full coverage stuff only because of the choice of the concealer. I'm not gonna do much to my eyes. I'm just gonna take the blender that I used, bounce that over my eyelids. So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to take my palette and I'm using the Modern Renaissance palette. The choice between the palette was Modern Renaissance and KatVonD Shade and Light palette. And you guys picked Modern Renaissance. This was my first ever palette. Do you see how disgusting it's become? Ugh, it looks so crusty, but it's still one of my favorite palettes. If I was to go on a vacation and I could only carry one palette, it would be this. Now I'm going to take my Luxie brush, and first shade that I'm going to use is this Warm Taupe. Hi guys, sorry for the interruption. I don't know if you heard or not, but there was a pigeon in our balcony and we don't know where it came from because it's all closed, so we have no idea how it entered. So now once I'm done with adding Warm Taupe, I'm gonna take Burnt Orange. If you've been watching me, my first ever makeup tutorial, this is the palette that I used, and Burnt Orange was my favorite shade at that time. Even now, I feel like if we have to go for a party or something and I have no time, I just take Burnt Orange out, put it in my crease and get out. So yeah, I'm gonna take burnt orange and put it in my crease again. If you feel like this shade is too orangey for you, they have a lighter shade called Raw Sienna, which is right beside burnt orange, and you can use that. And if you feel like it's too light for you, then they have a darker shade called Real Car. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but yeah, that's darker than burnt orange. This was one thing that I used to do a lot before. Now that I'm using this palette, it just reminds me of that. I want to do it. I'm gonna take the shade Tempera, which is this, on a very tiny brush. This is the Vanity Planet Precision Concealer brush. I'm gonna take the shade Tempera and put it on my brow bone. I'm gonna take very little and put it in my inner corner as well. And back with the brush and blending it out. Now I'm gonna move on to my powder, for which I asked you guys to choose between the KatVonD translucent powder and the Lakme compact powder, and you guys chose KatVonD Shade and Light. So I'm gonna take some of that and put it under my eyes. I usually don't bake at all. I don't like baking, but today I'm going to, because as you can see, I used a super full coverage concealer and then I used foundation on top of that, and I do have a little bit of creasing. So I'm gonna use this. Now that I'm done with the powder, I'm gonna move on to my brows. So the choice between brows was either Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow pomade, or I use eyeshadow to fill in my brows. You guys chose Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm so glad, because I've never used eyeshadow to fill in my brows and it would just be a hot mess. So I'm glad you guys chose this. I'm using the Dipbrow pomade in the shade Ebony. Now that I'm done with my brows, I'm going to move on to bronzing. And for bronzing, you guys picked the KatVonD Shade and Light palette over the Laura Geller bronzer. Every time I open it, it gets worse, but it's pretty much the same as it was last time. Okay, now that I'm done with that, I'm going to move on to blush. I'm going to use the Dandelion blush. The choice was between the Benefit Dandelion blush and the Becca Cosmetics Wild Honey blush. The next product that I'm going to use is highlighter. So the choice was between the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop highlighter or the Steve Laurent Jelly highlighter. I'm going to move on to eyeliner. I'm using the KatVonD Tattoo Liner in the shade Trooper Black, and the choice was between this and the Roller Liner by Benefit in the shade Brown. I was hoping you guys would choose this because I'm not a big fan of black liner, but like whatever. This liner came out so pretty, and this looks so ugly. It looks like a freaking 5-year-old drew my eyeliner. I feel like I'm being too hard on myself. It's not that bad. Now I'm gonna use this Bobbi Brown mascara. The choice was between this and Maybelline. This was the result without curling the lashes. I wonder how much more better would it look if I did curl my lashes. Wow, I love it. It literally looks like I have false lashes on. Let's move on to the last step, the lips. So I did not put specific products up here because I didn't know what kind of a look it was going to turn into. I asked you guys if you wanted me to do nude lips or dark lips, and most of you said nude lips, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna line my lips with the MAC lip liner Dervish. This is the perfect My Lips but better shade. I like it just the way it is. I don't want to add anything to it. I'm going to use my MAC lipstick in the shade Velvet Teddy. Wow, I literally never tried this lip combination. I think it looks so good. I think the eyes, the lips, the face, everything looks good. So that's it for today's video. I really hope you like it. Thank you for picking the products on my Instagram story. Do follow me on Instagram for more such things. Like I said before I do any look, I try it out, and it's usually on Instagram first, and I ask you guys if you want to see it or not. Yeah, do follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Let me know what you want me to do next, and I will definitely do it. Please do subscribe. I see the analytics, and I know 80% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed to my channel. So please subscribe. It will help me a lot, and you have nothing to lose.